When I first traveled to the Donbass region, they asked me to fill out a form, and on the form I had to describe myself, my appearance, any particular features, just in case something happened to me, so they could identify the body. But I don't have any particular features, so I'll describe everything. My name is Natasha. I'm 40 years old already. I have a small build, so I look younger, and I have a large nose, beautiful brown eyes, thin lips, small breasts, and thin arms and legs. I have some ugly scars on my body, one on my belly from an operation, another on my buttock from an injection I had at school. I'm not in great shape because of all the stress and not looking after myself properly. I'm pale, and sometimes I can feel my heart racing. You'll call me Sparrow. Now I'll describe you. Your name is Sergey, and you're 38. Average height, although no, you're shorter than average. You're strong, trim, upright. You look older than you are. You've got a strong voice, harsh grey bristle on your head. You've got brown eyes, and when I look into them, I feel as if they've taken me hostage and left me in a dark basement where some unknown terror is about to begin. I desperately want to look into your eyes. I desperately want you to like me. I've already fallen for you. I fell for you, not at first sight. It was the second time. I was interviewing you in a cafe in Kiev. It was a warm winter. I'd dressed up. I was wearing my red coat. You were in uniform. I said, "You look good." A muscle twitched on your face, and I realized you were pleased. You're this hero. You're talking about the war, about Donetsk airport, which is what I'm researching. You start drawing on a napkin the old and new airport terminals, the position of the enemy, list the names of weapons. I pretend I'm following, but I'm not really. You're remote, inaccessible, but my interest in the war excites you. This is my only road to you. You draw the only road back from the airport. Your hands are coarse. See, Natal'ya, the storm brigade had been relieved and they were leaving along this road here. And here were the grads, and here are the guns, and here are the armed personnel carriers, and there's a lot of firepower concentrated here. And this is one of our tanks burning. We had a casualty and 3 fatalities that day. 4 separatists died on the mine wires. You're talking, and I'm watching your lips. And then I go to the cinema and watch a documentary about the war. You just told me about it, and then I go and watch a film about a war you were in. Explosions going off around you. You're carrying a gun. You're filthy. I can't take it all in, that these explosions and shots and deaths aren't just faked for the film, that the dirt on your face isn't makeup, that you aren't just some ripped Brad Pitt lookalike, and that you really have killed another person. I pray to the icon of Mama Maria in one of the cathedrals at the Vidubedetsky monastery. I don't really know how to pray, but all the same, the tears are streaming down my face. I pray for my mother, my daughter, for peace in Ukraine. I light a candle for all the dead. But I'm not crying for them, let's be honest. I'm crying for you. I want love with you. But I can't do it. I can't ask you for that. But the Mama Maria understood and passed up my message. She probably said, "This woman wants to suffer. Help her." rang and said, "Come with me to the zone. I'll show you the front line. Would you like to?" Who turned down an offer like that? Everyone wants to be on the front line. I made the decision in an instant. I didn't take hot coffee and cold chicken and all the things a woman should take when she sets off with a man on a long journey. So we ate disgusting hot dogs in petrol stations and drank coffee with a sour taste of vomit. You don't listen to music in your car with its camouflage paint. You smoke and don't say much. Ahead of us, the road breaks up. Ahead is the East and the war. You and me, two complete strangers, completely different species. Why do I feel so calm, so happy? Where does happiness come from? You tell me about the battle for Donetsk airport, the battle I'm researching. The separatists wanted to take the airport in time for Putin's birthday, like a present. They were going to use this rocket launcher, Pinocchio. It's like a weapon of mass destruction. It destroys every living thing within a radius of 3K. Our commanding officers weren't confirming this openly, but they weren't denying it either. But we were pretty convinced by the way the separatists were evacuating weapons and people out of the airport. In just a few hours, the airport, which had been under fire and siege for months, was empty. It's like there's this terrible silence all around. The first silence in that airport. All night, we were preparing for the end. I rang my daughter. I helped her do her homework over the phone, and then I took a good while to wash myself with wet wipes. There'd been no water for a long time. No one wanted to sleep, and someone suggested looking for basements. We looked all over for a basement, but didn't find any. But actually, they wouldn't have saved us from Pinocchio. That kind of consoled us. At dawn, they began storming the building with tanks. You cannot imagine how ecstatic we were. It meant they weren't going to use Pinocchio. We were going deeper, closer and closer to Donbass, passing wretched, tumble-down houses, broken up roads, and I'm thinking, how depressing it all is. And you say, it's depressing, isn't it? We drive on. We drive through a pine forest, and I think, can't beat a pine forest. And you say, can't beat a pine forest, can you? We drive on. We drive into Kirovograd. I've never been to Kirovograd. No one comes to towns like this unless they have to. We're in the military zone now, and you set up an interview for me with a famous battalion commander. For 4 hours, he tells me funny and not so funny stories about Donetsk airport for my research. He tells me things, shows me photos. He must have forgotten you shouldn't show civilians pictures of bodies ripped to pieces. Once we killed these 3 separatists, and we thought we'd keep their bodies in one of the freezers round in the airport. We thought we might exchange them for some of their captives, but no one ever came looking for them. So there they were, the 3 of them, stuffed in tight together. When we had new recruits, they often tried to use that freezer as a table to eat off. And every time, one of the more senior lads would come over and fling back the freezer door. We lost a captain on our last tour. We couldn't find his body. And then we all gathered for a briefing one day, and suddenly, in the complete silence, a mobile rang. It wasn't one of ours. This childish ringtone ringing out in the derelict airport. No idea where it was coming from. We started to look, and we found a body in the debris. It was the lost captain. His mobile was in his pocket, and his mum was calling him. It was probably friendly fire that killed him, and his body had been hidden. We both stay in a hotel with the most totally inappropriate name, the Palatial. A twin room. You lie down on the bed on the right, lay your machine gun and handgun tenderly by the pillow, sigh a couple of times, and fall asleep. Too quickly. You aren't pretending. You snore. I lie on hot coals all night, and not because I see before my eyes the photos of the soldiers who forgot that you shouldn't show civilians pictures of bodies ripped to pieces by explosions, and not because you were snoring. I lie on hot coals for one reason only. I want you.